Sweet soul, I waited for you. Subscribe to Heaven Knows You for daily Archangel Michael messages. I stood beside you in the unseen, praying you'd sense this moment. Archangel Michael doesn't usually wait. He acts. But today I waited for 2 whole hours. I waited because the urgency I carry is not something I can let go of. There's something critical, something not of this world trying to break into your life like a flood of truth, and the gate just opened. A private investigator who thought they could move in silence has been exposed. You were never supposed to know, but heaven overruled that silence because you deserve the truth before it goes too far. You have no idea how long heaven's been watching this unfold. But now the pressure in the spiritual realm can't be ignored. Archangel Michael stood in front of your name today and said, "This ends here." There's a trail of actions being followed, a secret truth unraveling, and you're the centerpiece. Someone hired eyes to look deep into your path. Yes, your finances, your movements, your emotions. But this isn't just earthly interference. This was designed to disturb your blessings before they arrived. But God said no. And now we speak because you need to hear this before anything else touches your energy. You were protected from something that almost hit you. I'm serious. While you were resting, someone was plotting, observing, trying to get an upper hand using information that wasn't meant to be known. A man who thought he was discreet was caught red-handed by divine interception. God himself allowed the veil to fall just enough so Archangel Michael could step in and whisper into your heart, "Open this now. Don't skip. Don't scroll. There is a reason heaven chased you down today. You may not realize it, but your life was being watched in places even you didn't give permission to. Let me be clear. There is divine protection wrapped around you now like never before. Not because you asked for it, but because you're stepping into a territory too sacred to be interfered with. You are being positioned for something breathtaking. A shift so big the enemy wanted details in advance to sabotage your path. But heaven intercepted the messenger. And now the secrets are tumbling out. The private investigator wasn't working alone. He had a name, a client. And yes, their identity is being spiritually brought to light. They weren't just curious about your present. They wanted access to your destiny. But your destiny is sealed. And those who tried to uncover it without divine permission are now facing exposure. This is why Michael is here. Why the angels are circling your house in the spirit tonight. Because your next decision can either open the floodgates of divine truth or close your ears to the alarm bells heaven has been trying to sound for 2 hours now. Someone crossed a line, and that line was the spiritual boundary drawn around your favor. But here's the miracle, no weapon formed against you will prosper. They tried to hire intelligence. God sent fire. They tried to gather details. God scattered their plans. Because when heaven chooses someone, that person becomes untouchable. And you, beloved, have been chosen. That's why this message couldn't wait. That's why the angels didn't rest. That's why Michael has stayed this long. You don't realize how many layers of your protection were activated in just the last few hours, just because you were spiritually in danger and didn't even know it. The investigator had something in his hands, a file, a piece of data, something he wasn't supposed to find. But just before it left his grasp, divine interruption. And that's when Michael came down. That's when the spiritual alarms went off in heaven. That's when your name was shouted in the courts above and marked as urgent. And that's when this message began forming, being shaped by God's breath to find you, to shake you awake, to pull you from the grip of silence into the power of knowledge. If you're reading this now, it's because you're not just being warned, you're being awakened. This message wasn't typed. It was etched in spirit, pushed through light, sent with urgency because the plan to stop you is now known. And the one behind it, they're being dealt with as we speak. But you still have a choice. You must decide what to do with this light, this truth, this divine exposure. You can ignore it, pretend this is a coincidence, or you can walk into the revelation like fire walking into darkness and choosing to shine. Heaven doesn't send warnings lightly. If Michael speaks, it's because the moment can no longer wait. There are details about your money, your energy, your movements, leaked, sought after, almost sold. But now heaven rewrites the script. You are protected. But protection isn't passive. It's a shield you must stand under, fully aware that the rain was coming. Now you must remain close to the voice of God, or the enemy will try to rewrite the narrative again. But not this time. You've come too far. If you're feeling this message pulling on your spirit, don't ignore it. This is the moment to subscribe to God's frequency and never miss what heaven is urgently delivering for your life. Click the subscribe button and step into the divine alerts meant only for you. Now listen, this wasn't just any investigator. This was someone trained to hide, to vanish in crowds. But they didn't vanish before heaven saw them. They were caught near a trail of data, a whisper of truth connected to your destiny. You are being pulled into something greater. And that private eye, he wasn't just looking into your now. He was trying to disturb your next. That can't happen. That won't happen. Not if you open your eyes today and claim what was meant to be yours without interference. The one who hired them isn't a stranger. They have history with you. And what they did wasn't just betrayal. It was a spiritual invasion. But God intercepted. Michael revealed it. And now all that's hidden is unraveling. You're not crazy. You felt watched. You felt off. Your energy has been slightly twisted lately. And that's not paranoia. It was spiritual warfare. But it's coming to a crashing end, because the truth is always more powerful than deception. And light always exposes every hidden file, every shadowed motive. Now is not the time to panic. It's the time to rise. You're not alone. Heaven saw what they were doing, and you are now part of a divine case where the truth can't be silenced anymore. You were chosen not only to survive this moment, but to rise from it, to lead others through their moments of spiritual spying and sabotage. Because what's happened to you has happened to others, but they don't have Michael standing beside them. You do. You always have. If you're still here reading, it means your spirit is awake, and your enemies are nervous. The investigator thought they could walk away, but they couldn't escape divine vision. Heaven watches what eyes can't see. And heaven doesn't let its chosen suffer blind. This is your turning point. Your awareness will bring power. Your power will bring clarity. And your clarity will become your divine compass. From this moment on, you walk not just protected, but dangerous to the darkness. Because now you know. And knowing is spiritual warfare's greatest weapon. The moment you accepted this message into your heart, the shift began. Heaven recorded it. A timestamp was placed on your life path. Your destiny just received an acceleration. And that's not poetry. It's prophecy. The ones who try to delay you, they underestimated who walks with you. They underestimated how sensitive your spirit is. You didn't need evidence. You needed divine confirmation. And this is it. Archangel Michael was assigned to blow the trumpet over your life tonight. This isn't just a warning. It's a beginning. A spiritual fire is about to consume everything that was planted around you in darkness. What if I told you there was a file with your name on it sitting in a hidden server, and someone paid good money to access it? They wanted to know who you're talking to, what you're planning, what doors are about to open for you. But what they didn't realize is, once heaven marks you, no human system can decode your journey. That file has been burned in the spirit. The access has been revoked. And the man who was reading your future without permission, he's no longer reading anything. He's being read by heaven now. You've been cleared in the courts of the unseen. That heaviness you felt recently, that dragging sadness or unexplained anxiety, was the enemy trying to delay your intuition. They didn't want you to sense the setup. They were hoping you'd be too busy, too distracted, too disconnected from your inner fire. But heaven made sure to interrupt you with this moment, because your light is too rare, your calling too sharp, your future too dangerous to darkness. And if you knew how big your next door was, you'd understand why they went to such lengths to investigate you. Because they saw what's coming for you, and they were terrified. Your path is about to glow with unexpected clarity. A door will open soon, and you'll remember this message as the prophecy that broke the chains around your name. Because when a private investigator starts watching someone, it means they think that person is about to do something great. But when that person is watched by heaven, oh, the rules change completely. Every earthly eye that looked your way in secrecy is now being blinded by divine light. They wanted data. God sent destiny instead. Archangel Michael didn't just speak your name today. He fought for it. He stood between your image and the image printed on a dark report. He cut cords. He ended attempts. He dismantled something that was supposed to cause you harm within the next 7 days. But instead of harm, you're about to receive favor. Because heaven always flips what was meant to wound into what becomes your testimony. Your name has now shifted realms. It's no longer just yours. It's heaven's evidence. You think you're ordinary, but the enemy knows better. That's why they tried to spy, not speak. That's why they hired watchers instead of being bold, because they knew if they approached you directly, your light would disarm them. So they went behind the scenes. But what they found wasn't weakness. It was a warrior soul wrapped in divine protection. And now that the tables have turned, you're about to see who's really been watching whom. You're not the target. You're the fire. And fire can't be followed. It must be respected. Don't be surprised if some people in your life start acting strange. The ones who spoke your name in private will now feel the echo in public. Divine justice is silent at first, but then it shows up loudly, and it always comes on time. Don't retaliate. Don't confront. Stay still. Because vengeance belongs to God. And what He's doing behind the scenes is bigger than any words you could speak. The exposure is happening. The truth is surfacing. And your story is being rewritten without the fingerprints of those who tried to hijack your future. Can you feel the chills running through your soul right now? That's not fear. It's recognition. Your spirit knows this is real. This isn't drama. This is divine timing. This is the moment the storm passed over your house because Archangel Michael was guarding the door. They couldn't come near. They couldn't touch what's sacred. And your future is more sacred than they could ever understand. That's why this message is more than information. It's alignment. You've just stepped into divine order. I need you to understand something else, too. Your intuition didn't fail. You've been feeling off lately because the spiritual realm was loud, and you were hearing it without knowing. The whispers, the gut pulls, the sleepless nights. That wasn't your imagination. That was divine protection trying to keep you from the trap that was being set. And now that it's over, you'll notice the peace returning. The air is clearer. The weight is lighter. The spiritual cameras that tried to peek into your soul have been shut down permanently. They wanted to know about your money, your moves, your next steps. But they forgot one thing. Heaven's children don't move in logic. They move in favor. You can't predict favor. You can't track miracles. You can't intercept the movement of someone who walks under divine orchestration. You are not to be monitored. You are to be marveled at. And that's what's about to happen next. You're about to be seen, but not by spies, by supporters, by angels, by opportunities that recognize your worth. Do not minimize what has just happened. A private eye crossed a spiritual boundary. And the only reason you're even hearing about it now is because Archangel Michael demanded heaven release this truth before it got too late. You are protected. But now you're also positioned to take back everything that was being stolen in secret. Your confidence, your voice, your stability, your trust in your own path. All of it is returning now, with divine interest. You were never meant to find this message by accident. It was written into your timeline before the investigator even took his first step. And now that you've received it, something has been unlocked in your atmosphere. Things will begin moving faster. Clarity will rush in. Strange delays will stop. Confusion will lift, because the cloud has passed. The storm has bowed. And you are no longer in the shadows of someone else's curiosity. You're in the spotlight of God's will. You're not just surviving this moment. You're stepping into command. Spiritual command. Divine clarity. What was hidden is now visible. What was stolen is now being returned. The private investigator who tried to extract pieces of your path unknowingly triggered something far more powerful than any earthly plan. They triggered your awakening. And now that you're awake, there is no turning back. You've tasted the truth. And truth changes everything. It makes you fearless. It makes you aware. It makes you unstoppable. The energy surrounding you is shifting as we speak. Can you feel it? Something is uncoiling. Something spiritual is being dismantled. The invisible wires that were silently monitoring your life have been severed by the sword of Archangel Michael. He didn't just send this message. He cut through realms to get it to you. That's how urgent this moment was. That's how necessary it was for you to hear this before nightfall. You're not reading this to feel better. You're reading this because the season has shifted, and God doesn't want you to walk into the next part blind. Everything they tried to collect on you, your income, your spiritual sensitivity, your emotional shifts, your private prayers, they were trying to use those things against you. But the surveillance stopped when the sacred fire showed up. And now the one who sent them is spiritually exposed. They can no longer manipulate from behind the curtain. You don't need revenge. You just need obedience. Heaven will do the rest, because your story is being divinely edited, and every sentence that wasn't written by God is being deleted. You're going to feel stronger in the next 48 hours. Don't be surprised if you feel like crying for no reason. That's your spirit releasing the tension it didn't even know it was carrying. There's healing in this exposure. You're not just being protected, you're being spiritually restored. This moment is heaven showing you that you're worth defending. Your path, your purpose, your peace, it's all worth divine warfare. That's how valuable your calling is. That's how priceless your future is. That's why Michael stood still for 2 hours and waited for you to notice. Some people will disappear now. Don't chase them. They were only in your life to get close to your light. And now that the light has changed frequency, they can't survive the heat. Others will confess things. Let them. Truth has a strange way of making people unravel. You don't have to beg for honesty anymore. It's coming. The truth is being magnetized toward you now. The veil is lifted. The performance is over. And those who played roles around you are starting to forget their lines. Don't panic if plans shift. It's all part of the cleansing. This exposure wasn't meant to just make you aware. It was meant to reroute your entire atmosphere. You were never meant to walk into your next season with eyes closed. Now the spirit is your eyes. You're being guided by light, not noise. And the road ahead is being cleared by the very angels who guarded this message until you opened it. You are not behind. You are not late. You are right on time for divine justice. And justice is happening now. Even the timing of when you opened this matters. Heaven waited until your heart could handle the weight of the truth. You weren't ready before. You would have doubted yourself. You would have thought, maybe I'm just being paranoid. But now you know better. You've matured in the spirit. You've grown in your discernment. And now you can see that sometimes spiritual warfare looks like whispers, like cameras, like clicks and quiet questions behind closed doors. But now those doors have been kicked open by light. And there's no hiding anymore. You may not know exactly who hired them yet, but their name is surfacing. You'll sense it soon. They'll show themselves, not because you asked, but because the light around you is too strong for darkness to hide in anymore. And when they do, don't let your heart turn bitter. Let it turn bold. Bold enough to walk away from manipulation. Bold enough to cut soul ties you never asked for. Bold enough to believe that you are divinely supported even when humans fall short. There's something else, too. Money that was being blocked. You've been wondering why things have been delayed. Why breakthroughs seem so close but always just out of reach. It wasn't you. It wasn't laziness or bad timing. It was spiritual interference. That investigator wasn't just observing. He was meant to report back. And that report was going to be used to apply pressure in your finances, your relationships, your momentum. But now that the plan has been broken, get ready. Your flow is about to return like a river that was dammed but now bursts free. Don't be surprised if unexpected money arrives. If someone pays a debt they forgot, if a closed door suddenly reopens. This is the ripple effect of divine disruption. When heaven interrupts what was working against you, the blessings that were being held back start to rush in. And you're not meant to question them. You're meant to receive them, with joy, with clarity, with open arms. Because what's coming next will not require you to fight. It will require you to rest in knowing you've already been defended. It's safe now. You're safe now. Not just physically, but spiritually. The things that were moving around your name in dark places have been brought to their knees. There's no spiritual spy that can touch what's sealed by fire. And you, dear one, are sealed. You're no longer under review. You're under release. What was investigated is now irrelevant, because heaven has ruled in your favor. And the only thing left for you to do is walk forward. There's a new light around your face. A glow. People will notice it. They'll say you look different. It's not your face. It's your frequency. You've aligned with divine awareness. And that kind of awakening can't be undone. They watched you because they thought they could find weakness. But all they found was divine resilience. Now they're the ones wondering how the truth slipped through their hands. And you're the one rising with answers. You've come too far for this message to be just another whisper in your day. This is the moment heaven marks you again. Not with warning now, but with oil. Fresh anointing is falling on your name. And do you know what's beautiful about that? Anointing makes you untouchable. It creates a glow that the enemy can't copy and the past can't dim. And now, because you opened your spirit to this truth, that oil is flowing straight from the courts of God, through Archangel Michael's command, and directly into your next 7 days. Yes, the next 7 days. That's how quickly the shift will show. The investigator was working on a 10-day timeline. He was 3 days away from a final report, one that would have been used to stir up confusion. But God disrupted his plan at the exact time. And now what was going to be delivered against you is going to be reversed into something for you. Heaven didn't just stop the messenger. They reclaimed the message. What they intended for sabotage is going to become your spotlight, and your name will rise in favor. Don't try to understand it all logically. This is supernatural. This is divine technology working faster than anything human hands could design. Archangel Michael intercepted a spiritual broadcast meant to attack your timeline. He blocked a transmission that would have stolen favor from your future. And because you listened, because you opened this when your name was crying out for rescue, you have become the exception, the interruption. The one whose story won't end in loss, but in legend. Let them talk. Let the ones behind it all squirm under the pressure of their own exposure. Your job now is not to shrink in shame, but to shine in the aftermath. Because the fire didn't consume you. It cleansed you. It burned off every hidden attachment, every unspoken attack, every unseen burden that was placed on your life without permission. You are lighter now. Freer. Stronger. Wiser. And that's the part they didn't expect. They thought the investigation would crush you, but it crowned you instead. Everything is going to feel different now. Your thoughts will sharpen. You'll notice what you used to ignore. You'll hear lies where you used to give benefit of the doubt. You'll see manipulation where once there was just confusion. This is not paranoia. It's divine discernment. Michael has sharpened your inner radar. You're not here to doubt yourself anymore. You're here to walk with conviction. The kind of conviction that breaks generational cycles and silences rooms just by entering them. And don't you dare settle again. Don't lower your vibration to match someone else's comfort. The one who ordered this investigation wanted to control what they didn't understand. They tried to observe what they couldn't own. But the mystery of your destiny is something they'll never be able to calculate, because it's written in heaven, not in files. And now that the attempt failed, they'll try to downplay it. They'll pretend it wasn't serious. But you know better. God told you before it was too late. Do not respond emotionally. Respond spiritually. Thank God. Thank Michael. Thank your spirit for being strong enough to hold this kind of awareness. You didn't fall apart. You're not sitting in confusion. You're standing in clarity, and clarity is a magnet for miracles. The cleaner your space becomes, the faster favor finds you. The more aware you are, the less access confusion has. And the more you walk in truth, the more heaven will trust you with revelations like this. Again, you've been upgraded. That's what this really is, a divine upgrade. You're not just someone God protected. You're someone God now trusts with insight. You're being entrusted with vision, with leadership, with divine foresight. You'll start dreaming differently. You'll wake up with answers. People around you will wonder how you knew something before it happened, but you'll just smile because you'll remember this day. The day your eyes were open to the reality of spiritual interference and divine interruption. If you're tempted to go digging to find out who exactly was behind it, pause. God will reveal what you need to know. But not everything is meant for confrontation. Some things are meant for consecration. You've been consecrated by this moment, spiritually sealed, emotionally recalibrated. You're not walking forward as a victim of betrayal. You're walking as a vessel of divine strategy. You're not here to take revenge. You're here to rise above the battlefield entirely. This is your closure. This message right here, let it settle your spirit. Let it complete the emotional spiral. Let it heal the distrust, because heaven is watching over you more closely now than ever. They know your heart has been heavy. They know you felt unsafe, but that's over now. The breach has been sealed. The interference has ended. And what's coming next is not about recovery. It's about reward. So, what's your next move? Nothing loud, just alignment. Realign your goals. Check your connections. Recommit to your sacred purpose. And then watch how the universe starts rushing to support you. The very energy that tried to delay you will now be the wind that pushes you forward. The people who misunderstood you will have no choice but to watch your glow. The ones who hid their curiosity will suddenly go silent, not because you confronted them, but because the divine has turned their microphones off. You are protected. And now you're also empowered. You know the truth. You've seen behind the curtain. You felt the hands trying to hold you back. And now that they've been cut loose, there is no ceiling over your progress. The limits are gone. The lies are silenced. The investigation is closed, and your life is about to open in ways you couldn't have imagined before this moment. Take a deep breath now. Feel that? That's the sound of spiritual freedom. You are exactly where you need to be. And the story that's coming next, it will feel like justice wrapped in joy, sealed with favor. Heaven is not finished yet. And you are just getting started. You're still here, and that means something powerful. It means your spirit isn't skipping past divine timing. It means you're the kind of soul that leans in, not away. And that right there is why heaven is investing in your story. Because the ones who pause, who listen deeply, who feel the weight of a message like this, they're the ones chosen for something rare, something sacred, something heaven doesn't hand out lightly. You were never meant to live an ordinary life. You were built to walk in revelation. Let me say this clearly, you're not who you were before this message began. Your atmosphere has shifted. And whether you feel it or not, spiritually, your name has just been written into a new chapter. The past few weeks might have felt like warfare disguised as confusion, delays, strange conversations, missed opportunities, sudden fatigue, things that didn't make sense. But now you understand, it was surveillance. An invisible setup. But heaven was watching the watcher. And the trap set against you became the testimony that now walks beside you. And the most stunning part, you didn't even have to fight for this revelation. God brought it to you. Archangel Michael stood guard so the truth could travel unshaken straight to your heart. This is how heaven fights for its beloved. Quietly, ferociously, without announcement. You don't need to yell to be defended. You just need to be chosen. And chosen you are. That's why the investigator failed. That's why the spiritual attack collapsed, because no one can invade what heaven already owns. Now, let's go deeper. Because what you're about to receive next isn't just protection. It's prophecy. The information that was collected about you is now being spiritually reversed. It's being rewritten in the heavenly realms. That means people who thought they had facts on you will be confused by your sudden glow. They'll wonder why what they learned about your weakness no longer matches who you are becoming. And that, beloved, is because heaven just recoded your story. The narrative was intercepted and rewritten in light. That sickness you almost experienced. Cancelled. That relationship that suddenly fell away. Protected. That delay in your business or dreams. Rerouted, not denied. That uneasy gut feeling you couldn't explain. That was God trying to tell you this moment was coming. And now that it's here, your path forward must be taken with reverence. Don't rush. Let clarity be your compass. Let quiet be your response. You owe no explanations to people who were working against you in silence. Your only responsibility now is to honor what heaven just did for you. Because truth like this is holy. And moments like this become altars, spiritual markers you'll look back on years from now and say, that's when everything changed. You might not even cry, but your soul is weeping in gratitude right now. That's why you feel lighter. That's why your chest feels like something was pulled out. It was a spiritual surveillance cord, severed, and your energy is no longer leaking into places it wasn't meant to. You've just been made whole in ways you didn't even know you were broken. And that, my friend, is a miracle. A quiet miracle. A clean miracle. And it was tailor-made just for you. There's one more thing you must understand. The reason they wanted to spy on you was because they sensed you were close to something explosive, something life-changing, a breakthrough, a divine partnership, a financial release, an opportunity with your name on it. They were trying to see how close you were to it so they could get ahead of it, or block it. But now that they've been exposed, they've lost the upper hand. The very thing they tried to observe without your permission is now going to happen in public. God is going to make sure of that. So don't dim your light. Don't hide your progress. Don't apologize for moving fast. Now, you're not moving in ego. You're moving in alignment. You're not trying to impress anyone. You're obeying divine momentum. And the more you obey, the more doors will swing open without you even knocking. You've entered a season where access will find you, where divine timing will meet you at every corner, and where the favor being poured over you will confuse those who thought they knew your limits. You were never meant to be understood by everyone. You were meant to be protected by the few, and celebrated by heaven. And now that heaven has spoken over you, no earthly report can override it. You are free. You are clear. You are rising. Now listen carefully. In the next 24 to 72 hours, you will receive a confirmation of this word. It may not come in thunder. It might not be loud, but it will be real. A person may suddenly reach out and apologize. A strange opportunity may land at your feet. A long-blocked door will budge open. A name may surface in a dream or a passing conversation. Pay attention. These are heaven's fingerprints. Write them down. Document them. Because when this all fully unfolds, and it will, you're going to have evidence that you were never crazy. You were always covered. Now go, walk forward with the fire of someone who just had their name cleared in the spiritual courts. Don't beg for space. Take it. Don't wait for permission. Move in divine authority. You are no longer under silent attack. You are under loud favor. And the one who sent the investigator, they've just become the proof that no plan against you shall prosper. You are chosen. You are called. You are covered. And this was your moment of awakening. And now we reach the sacred finale, the sealing of this divine unveiling. Breathe. Because what's coming next isn't just a blessing. It's a release. You are standing at the edge of a moment that will echo across your entire future. The heavens are watching you. Archangel Michael hasn't left your side. His sword is still drawn. And God is smiling over you like a parent who just shielded their child from a danger that child never saw coming. This was bigger than you realized. But now that you see it, you're ready for what comes next. Let this truth anchor in your soul: the war is over. The spiritual surveillance has ended. The file is closed. Your name is being rewritten not as the observed, but as the overcomer. You didn't bow. You didn't collapse. You were preserved in silence, prepared in pressure, and now you're rising in fire. You are becoming someone who doesn't just survive darkness, you shine through it like a prophecy in motion. And now every step you take from this moment on will carry weight. Divine weight. Unshakable presence. Don't be surprised if you suddenly walk differently. If you speak with more clarity, if people stop and stare at you without knowing why. You've shifted atmospheres. The old version of you, the one they tried to track, monitor, manipulate, no longer exists. That person died when you said yes to truth. When you opened this message, when you allowed heaven to touch the parts of your soul you didn't even know were in danger. That is the resurrection power of divine interception. You're walking out of this moment with new breath in your lungs and a fire behind your eyes. And you must guard it. This kind of clarity can't be taken lightly. Protect your peace like a crown. Set boundaries like a gatekeeper of gold. Say no when something disturbs your alignment. Say yes only to what matches your healing. Because now you're not just healing from a betrayal. You're glowing in the aftermath of deliverance. And the glow is not something you need to advertise. It will be seen. It will be felt. It will introduce you before you even speak. Someone is going to come back into your life soon. But don't fall for appearances. Look for patterns. Don't search for revenge. Search for wisdom. Because heaven has handed you insight, and now you must use it wisely. The one who sent the investigator, they're still processing what went wrong. And when they realize the divine turned the tables, they'll either fall silent or try to re-enter your life with charm. Don't entertain confusion. Entertain purpose. Because your purpose is what heaven just protected. And that means it's bigger than even you thought. There's a season coming where your story will be used to break chains off others. This message you're holding in your heart will echo through conversations, through prayers you haven't prayed yet, through people you haven't met yet. You've just become a carrier of revelation, a living, breathing proof that divine protection is real, that spiritual warfare is not fiction, that God still speaks, that angels still fight, that Archangel Michael still moves when your name is under attack. And now, the blessing. Right now I speak a spiritual blessing over your life. May the clarity you've received be permanent. May the protection over your house be unbreakable. May your energy stay clean, your connection stay pure, and your momentum never be interrupted again. I pray your next 7 days are filled with shocking confirmations, unexpected money, divine connections, and revelations that give you peace. I pray the one who tried to use your life as a pawn be permanently removed from your timeline. And I pray that everything you touch from now on carry the vibration of this moment, of breakthrough, of safety, of rising. May Archangel Michael stand at your door every night and your side every day. May no whisper of harm find its way to your energy. May you walk in rooms that once rejected you and shine with a light they can no longer deny. May your soul be surrounded by honor. May your body be filled with peace. May your mind remain sharp, focused, and spiritually aligned. You are no longer an observer of miracles. You are one. You are no longer in waiting. You are in walking, forward, boldly, confidently, completely protected. Now go live like it. You've been marked by heaven. Guard it well. Speak it when you're led. And never forget, the file they tried to build on you has been destroyed. But the testimony you're building now, it's eternal. And this divine moment will live inside you forever. It is done. If something in your spirit stirred while reading this, if the chills, the clarity, the truth felt too perfectly timed to be coincidence, then this message was heaven's direct line to your soul. You are not meant to miss this movement. And you are not meant to miss what's coming next. Archangel Michael and the angels are still speaking, still fighting for you, still sending revelation that can shift the course of your entire life. Don't let this be the last divine message you hear. Subscribe now and stay aligned with every urgent spiritual download meant for your protection, your clarity, and your miracle breakthrough. What's coming next is sacred, and it's only for those who are tuned in. Subscribe to Heaven Knows You for daily Archangel Michael messages.